Well, Stefan, I appreciate you for having me and having the organization and the kids out here, man, for this incredible event. Myself and three kids are here at the Land Drone Races. We're representing Austin, Texas.
Okay.
And we are here by way of the 100 Black Men of Austin. We are a community-based organization.
Okay.
We are focused on uplifting strong Black men in the community.
Right.
Started in 1963 in New York, was the first gathering of a few Black men, Jackie Robinson being one of those Black men, to say, we need to figure out how to move the needle for us as a community.
Okay.
Right. And then in 1986, in Washington, D.C., the national chapter of 100 Black Men was formed.
For America.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
So, and then from there, and I'm in Austin. I'm part of the Austin 100 Black Men, and we were formed in 1995 officially. So I haven't been there that long, man, but it's been incredible. So I'm a dad. We have a big blended family.
Dad up.
There you go. So 7 kids for us total, man. We're like the Brady Bunch.
I got a 3-piece.
Wayne Brady, not Mike Brady. The Black Brady. The Black Brady. You know, we left Los Angeles and made it to Austin. In Los Angeles, you know, it's a much bigger community to deal with. You know, so you have a lot more African American, a lot more Black men to interact with. But when I got to Austin, I felt like I was on the island.
Really?
Well,
because
no.
Texas?
Only because we have these little pockets that are so spread out. Los Angeles is a pretty tight city.
Okay.
Austin and the suburbs, you know, Georgetown.
Right, then it's rural and stuff like that. You got areas.
So
Okay.
You don't. If I threw a rock, I wouldn't hit as many brothers in Austin as I would if I threw a rock in Los Angeles. One of the advantages is there's a charter school called Texas Empowerment Academy, which is predominantly Black, about 96% Black, and we wanted our kids to have a more Afrocentric experience.
Okay.
So the short version of the story is we took our kids. They moved to a new campus, a huge 12,000 square foot facility in East Austin, and we took our kids to that event. And I actually met the president of the 100 Black Men of Austin, and just in our conversation, you know, he didn't ask me the typical question, "What do you do?" Like a lot of times you meet a guy, "Hey, what do you do for a living, Stefan?" He said, "What are you doing in your community?" And I was like, "Whoa!"
Right, like I never thought
it was crickets. It was crickets.
Yeah.
It was
Okay.
So I said, you know, and that really that challenged me to answer the question of what am I doing in my community? Of course, my community starting, you know, behind my front door and spreading out from there, and being able to reach, you know, my little brown kids and make a difference for them, and then the little brown kids that they go to school with, and then, you know, brown men in the community, Black men in the community who, you know, all the things that we need, man, mental health and financial awareness and, you know, volunteer efforts and support, you know, so all those boxes I was able to check by meeting the 100 Black Men of Austin. I'm a soldier, man. And I really feel like it's
I don't mind being a soldier.
I don't mind it all either, because, you know, our leadership just changed. We just changed presidents. Our current president now is Andre Patterson, but Carl Spencer, who's the outgoing president, both Carl Spencer and Andre Patterson, these dudes are just, when we talk about athletes being beasts, these dudes are beasts of industry and organization, and they're able to just steer the ship in such a way that they challenge all of us as members to go out and impact the community.
Okay.
So, you know, I'm a soldier, but my commitment is really to as many Black men as I can impact, make a difference with them. So, you know, I work as hard as I can, but I'm as aware in the community as I can be. There was and I think it happened. It was very serendipitous. There was a tiny little conversation that happened between, let's say, 2 ancillary people, and someone said to Carl, "Oh, you need to meet someone that knows Daryl Bingham, because maybe if you guys got together, it would create something that was incredible." And so when someone who knew Carl got in touch with someone who knew Daryl, when Daryl and Carl met, and Carl talked about what we were committed to doing for the youth in Austin, Daryl said, "Look, let me show you what I got going on in Detroit at SAY." And when we realized what this facility was, we were like, we got to be a part of it. So here's where I was blown away. When I walked into your facility, so from the outside, I think rec center.
Right.
But the first thing I saw was your computer lab.
All
those big, fast computers have been built with those gaming chairs, and then maybe there's a dance room behind that.
Right.
And when I got back here and saw the engineering and like TV and film, I was like, hold on a second, this is crazy. So as a soldier, one of the hats that I get to run is one of our core programs is called SLA, Student Leadership Academy.
Okay.
I do get to spearhead. I'm the tip of the spear for Student Leadership Academy.
Okay.
So young men between from 3rd grade to 12th grade, and even as we want to get them, maybe 1st and 2nd grade, so we can begin to get them in the right direction of, first of all, financial aptitude and awareness, right? Education and STEM. Those two.
It started that young.
That's right. Those two fundamental parts of, what will really make the difference in what you can create maybe as a high school and a college and a post-college student, right? When you get those foundational pieces of understanding money and understanding technology, if you hand those to us now, not only did Tiger crush golf or Lewis Hamilton, kill it in F1, these sports that we never really touched. Now we'll get these kids, from an investment and a financial literacy perspective. Now
prodigies.
Game over.
Prodigies.
Yes, sir. Game over. So, and I'll tie this up and we'll get to the punchline. The punchline is really, we don't have a facility like this yet, but Texas Empowerment, which I said is a huge 12,000 square foot plus facility, they've been giving us access to their campus. But you guys are really an incredible template for what's possible. One of the things that we say, and we live by this, you live and die by this, is what they see is what they'll be. So if we can't be that beacon of light and hope, if we're not doing what we're saying is possible, if we're not being what we say they can be, it doesn't make a difference. So I see the volunteers here running around tweaking on engines, making sure motors get broken and making sure that parts are put together just the right way. So when you look at the community from that perspective, those 10 at-risk kids that you said would have been at risk if you didn't put that Tamiya car in their hands, now they're working with somebody who's a mentor, even if the mentor is not really realizing that. Because what he or she is doing in that moment
automatically
is showing them what they need to be or how they need to do to make it work. So, man, awesome. So what they see is what they'll be. We got to live and die by that. And so that's one of the things that's really a cornerstone.
Like that, I will be.
Unlimited access to infinite resources where kids can engage in whatever their vertical might be.
Not just this.
That's it. If they're artistically focused, then, we'll have all, we have a gentleman in the group. He owns a black bookstore in Austin.
Nice.
So everything from nonfiction to historical fiction to, everything that you would find in a traditional bookstore, but he also has fine art. He has sculpture. He has T-shirts. So he has things in his shop that if you're not going to be an engineer, if you're not going to be a dentist or a doctor, then you may say, I want to go into the fine arts. And so what's possible now is understanding that now we have a roadmap and really we can work it backwards. What would it take to build this facility? And we start with a built facility. Okay, so it's only $23 million and 65 employees. And because of the team that we have and because the 100 black men, every aspect of industry we encompass, whether it's professionals, guys in the C-suite, engineers, artists and actors and ball players. We have everything in the 100 black men, not just in Austin. So we have a community of folks now that whatever we need, we can make it happen. We don't need a professional baller to come give us a check, but if we get that professional baller to sit next to our president and talk about what our kids need, if we need to raise that money through grant or scholarships or giving, now we can make it work.
Love it. I love it.
Everything's possible. It takes a lot to be a man, and I don't use that term lightly. And so once we hold each other accountable for just being men, there's so much responsibility in man. It's dad, it's companion, it's helpmate. It's all those things
protector
that are not just
of everyone.
Male. Right? We're both male by gender, but to be a man, that means something. But we got to step in the gap. And we have to do some of the things that are a lot of times uncomfortable that maybe males won't do. But as a man, you have to make those hard decisions and just get it done. 3 of the kids from SLA.
So out of those 3, like which one you say is the most enthusiastic about the Tamiya racing? I'm pretty sure all 3 of them.
Let me say this: I have a 13-year-old, a 17-year-old, and an 18-year-old. Soon to be 13, 17, and 17. One of my kids was very quiet and introverted. Another one was very quiet but very brainy, very, very, very bookish.
Okay.
And my young kid was just excited and just geeked on life, man.
Yeah.
And what was interesting is to see my quiet, reserved student go at this with so much vigor and just there's an opportunity to test your car.
Oh yeah.
And he was at that track tweaking and tuning and making adjustments and changes, and his enthusiasm for it surpassed what I thought it was going to be. Man, it has opened up me watching him, just blossom into this little mini engineer is incredible. That's the punchline. The thing, you give them a little taste of something that they never experienced before, then they know what it tastes like. Now they will chase it with vigor and determination. And I think once you plant that seed, if you plant the right seeds, then the right fruit will grow.
That's what it is. Put water on it, it will grow, man.
That's right.
Well, Mr. Jacoby, I appreciate you, man. I'm glad you're a great historian of the 100 Black Men, man. I'm happy about that, man.
You'd have to let me check, but regardless of
I believe it is.
There is or not one,
it is.
We have to get you involved.
I believe it is.
Let's go.